Good Saturday morning, South Carolina weather watchers. I'm your meteorologist, Joseph Peterson, and let's go in and talk about the weather for your Saturday. Starting off, what is going on here in terms of the state of South Carolina? No rain going on as we speak, except for like maybe a little tiny shower sprinkle up there near Cedar Rock and near Dawkesville, up there in Pickens County. But everybody else, nice and dry. We do have a shower from Appling, Georgia, that's moving its way up into the state potentially. That can move towards Edgefield in about a good, honestly, just taking a look at it. Could be over the next, I'd say, hour or more or so. So, just watching for that as we move into the next hour or so. Now, in terms of rainfall, we do have some storm activity in Florida, some rainfall activity in Alabama, flash flooding in Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, Iowa, Ohio, Michigan, all these areas receiving rainfall. We even have some rainfall down in Texas and Arizona. Now, as we move over into our cloud cover, we do in fact have a good amount of cloud cover statewide, no matter if you're from the upstate to the coastal areas, good amount of cloud cover. Now, in terms of our cloud cover for the future, we're going to push this forward into the afternoon, going over into the evening time, and cloud cover continues to stay with us. Even as we get to 12 o'clock in the morning, we are still staying pretty cloudy. Now, for our current temperature, we're talking about 84 in Somerville, 83 Charleston, 86 Beaufort, even 85 in Hilton Head Island, 84 Aiken and Columbia, 83 Sumter, 82 Florence and Hartsville, 82 Lugoff, in 80 inside of Union, 79 Spartanburg, and 79 in Gaffney, 80 York, Rock Hill, 78 Greenville and Clemson. Now, what about for your air quality for today? It looks like that the majority of us are inside of that moderate category. That usually means that it's not too good, but not too bad either. And the Myrtle Beach area, over into the Conway area, the Georgetown area, those areas aren't really included too much in the moderate category. They're in the good category, even down there to or up there towards York counties, down into like Lancaster, moving over into Chester. Those areas are also inside the good category. And so, if you're in the yellow, just watch for just watch for that air quality for today. High temperatures for today, we're talking about 86 in Greenville, 88 Spartanburg, even 90 in Greenwood, 95 in Columbia and Orangeburg, even 93 in Walterboro, 87 in Charleston, 88 in Georgetown, 87 Myrtle Beach, and 90 in Hilton Head Island. Now, in terms of your heat index values for today, it looks like that the majority of us are going to be hot regardless, but 105 in Hilton Head Island, 100 in Moncks Corner, 99 in Charleston, 103 in Aiken, 105 in Orangeburg. So it's going to be hot for the majority of us today, for sure. And other areas, may not be up into the upper 90s, but they're inside the lower 90s, like Greenville, Anderson, Spartanburg. Now, in terms of winds are actually pretty calm. Can be for around 5 to 10 miles per hour, maybe even can get up to around 15 miles per hour in terms of those sustained winds. And then we look at those wind gusts. Wind gusts are going to be from around 15 miles an hour all the way up to around 20, up to 25. Rainfall as we move into the next 24 hours or so, good amount. Definitely a good amount. And I will say, watch how the western part of the state has the most amount of rainfall. I will show you why in just a moment, but you see a half an inch to an inch in Anderson, maybe even an inch and a half to 2 inches possible in some of those areas like Oconee counties. But look at the eastern part of the state. Keep that in mind, how the eastern part's not really seeing as much as the western part. That will all make sense in just a moment. Thunderstorms are expected for today. It doesn't really matter where you are. Thunderstorms are going to happen. Where? We don't know, but thunderstorms will happen for today. And then excessive rainfall. Here we go. We start off into today, and we have a slight risk of excessive rainfall, so that means scattered flash flooding over there for Greenville, Spartanburg, Gaffney, Anderson, Greenwood, going over into Aiken and Columbia, at least the western parts in Lexington County. Now, these areas, again, have a 15% risk of flash flooding in the yellow. Everybody else, the low country, going on into the Grand Strand, the PD, even the eastern Midlands as well, has a 5% risk of flash flooding. That's like Orangeburg, Charleston, Beaufort, Georgetown, Myrtle Beach, Florence. Those areas, 5% risk of flash flooding in the green. So If you're in the yellow, you have a 15% risk of flash flooding, and if you're in the green, you have a 5%. And so now you can kind of get why there's a lot more rainfall over to the western areas, and that's just because excessive rainfall is definitely more prominent over there on the western side. Now for the crazy score, for today we're at a 6. Nothing too bad right now. Nice, pleasant conditions. Not really expecting much at all. So let's go on now and take a look at the models. Time is at the bottom part of your screen. Please make sure that you pay attention to that, as that is very, 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 very important to go on and talk about and to go on and pay attention to. Because if you lose track, good chance that you may lose where we are. So we're going to start off here with the models here at 9 o'clock in the morning. Or not 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning. Here we go. And you can see at 10 o'clock in the morning, I mean, this thing right here, which honestly, I think we can even go to the 14, or no, the 13Z. That is the latest one, okay? So even, the 13Z was a little bit prominent, saying that we were going to have some shower activity kind of moving its way over into the state at 10 a.m., but obviously that's not really occurring. It's not really until we get to around 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. that we start to see some shower activity start to move into the state finally. And then as we move to 1 p.m., watch those shower and thunderstorms start to develop. And then look over in the west. This is our main area that we're watching for here in terms of excessive rainfall. This is 3 p.m., a lot of shower activity, good amount of storm activity going on in Georgia. And as we move into 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m., look at 6 p.m., thunderstorms still developing over in South Carolina. And that heavy rainfall in Georgia, it continues to move its way west and actually makes its way in as you move into the evening. Watch how things kind of condense a little bit, and then look at Alabama, look at Tennessee. That's severe weather right there moving into Saturday night. That's the severe weather that we are going to see as we move over into Sunday, August the 2nd, tomorrow. Marginal risk of severe weather for pretty much the upstate down into like the inland low country, and the northern Grand Strand areas. So this is what we're looking at in terms of severe weather. Now, back to rainfall. We go back here to 11 p.m., 12 a.m., and again, all this rainfall kind of builds up. But watch as it gets over the mountains, the severe weather risk does, and it kind of calms down a little bit, kind of, chills out. But I think as we move more and more into Sunday afternoon, that's when things will start to change there. And so that's what we're looking at here in terms of rainfall. Now, from the HRRR here, how much rainfall are we expecting over the next 18 hours? Well, a couple of areas could get missed. I mean, that's a possibility that the HRRR is saying over the next 18 hours. But there's a couple of spots that can get up to potentially 4 to 5 inches of rainfall. Now, will that happen? I mean, it's possible. Definitely is possible. And with flash flooding, you never can know. It could definitely happen. But, just because we got 5 inches of rainfall does not mean guaranteed that flash flooding is going to happen. Really have to look and see how much of that rainfall is going to fall in about an hour. And you can see as we move to like 8 p.m., for example, over there inside of Georgetown, or not Georgetown, Orangeburg, not Georgetown, nowhere near, you see around 2 to 3 inches of rainfall in an hour over there in Orangeburg in some spots. So, yeah, that's 3.13 there. So overall, the potential for that flash flooding to occur is there. Definitely is. Even if you look at the precipitable water values, 2.5, close to 3 inches of rainfall in the atmosphere here that could potentially fall on the ground. So that's just what we're looking at. The values are there. I think that the ingredients are in place, and some flash flooding definitely could occur as we go into today, going into tonight. But that's pretty much all I have to say there from the models. Nothing in terms of the tropics. The drought monitor, we should be going over that tonight. We'll see what happens, but I should be here for tonight. Again, my apologies for not being here Thursday evening and Friday evening. I've been doing a lot of stuff outside of weather, so that's kind of just what I've been dealing with. But I should be back again for tonight, and I think that's about all. So I will be back tonight, 9 o'clock p.m., not 9 o'clock. 8 o'clock p.m. If I ever say 9 o'clock p.m., just know I mean 8 o'clock p.m. I've been saying 9 o'clock p.m. for like 2 years now, and it's kind of just programmed in my mind to say 9 o'clock p.m. But 8 o'clock p.m. for your Saturday evening forecast update. I'll be back then. Also tomorrow morning, Sunday morning forecast update. Make sure you're there.